Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elena. I do a lot of commentary, I do a lot of pop culture, I just talk a lot of shit online. And today we're going to be talking about the Tradwife trend and why it is so toxic. So let's start with the word Tradwife. Tradwife stands for traditional wife, and it's been a trend that's been going all over TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and it has to do with women who are participating in traditional gender roles in a marriage or relationship. Basically, you see these women, think Nara Smith. So they're always in the kitchen, they're always looking pretty and hyper feminine, they're super young, and they take care of the kids. Meanwhile, the man's sole duty is to financially take care of the household.
That's basically it.
That's basically all the men have to do to get a Tradwife. And I can understand why this trend has been blowing up. On the one hand, there's this nostalgia, right, of when times
were much simpler, when women didn't dress so provocative, and they were modest, and they were submissive, and they didn't talk back, and they just needed us for our money.
Right? And there's this nostalgia, especially from the toxic male sphere, for women to return to these ideals, right? And then there's also this push from women who are like,
yo, I actually don't want to work. I just really want to be a mom, right? Bake bread and look cute for my husband.
Now, as a feminist, and I have to be like a feminist in the warmest of sense of, I believe that feminism is all about the right for a woman to choose.
Choices.
I am not against Tradwives at all. I just feel like if that's your jam, if that's what you want to do, then you should have the right to choose to do that. No one's going to stop you from doing that. My problem is that you need backup plan. In the olden days where this Tradwife thing has sort of emerged from like traditional wives in the 1950s and 1960s, they were sort of like kept women but also kept without their consent. Like, one thing that we don't talk about that aesthetic that happened in the 1950s and the 60s and the 70s is that these women got beat. They got beat, and they don't want to admit this because at the time it was just something that you don't talk about. Yeah, it happens, but like if your neighbor's getting beat and your neighbor's getting beat, it's just normal. That's just what it is. And that's why I always get kind of like irritated when the older generations are always like,
but why aren't you married? Why haven't you got it?
The stories you guys tell me about marriage is scary, it's terrifying. I don't want to do that and risk my life for a man who might wake up one day and decides, actually, I don't love you, fuck them kids, and I'm out. Now what? A lot of the content that's also been coming out of this Tradwife trend is people coming out and saying that, listen, I was a Tradwife for 14, 15 years, and my husband one day decided to cheat and leave me for a younger woman. Now what?
I'm here to tell you why that whole Tradwife trend is absolute bullcrap. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who has been married for about 15 years now. Before she got married, she got a master's degree in education and a law degree. She met her husband in law school. He wanted a traditional wife. She did not take the bar, and instead they got married. He took the bar, he passed the bar, he became a lawyer, and she became a full-time housewife and later a mom, times 5. They have 5 children. Okay, fast forward 15 years, where he has been cheating on her for years. She finally caught him red-handed. She has enough confidence and determination to say, I want a divorce, I'm done. He's walking away with a $300,000+ job that he got, by the way, from one of her mom friends in a mom group. Let's just put that aside. She has nothing. She has 2 advanced degrees, 0 experience. So are they even worthwhile? Are they even worth anything? She has nothing to show for it. And in the last 15 years, what has changed in law and in education? Probably quite a bit. So she is stuck at this crossroads of feeling like she has nothing. And before you say alimony, he is trying to screw her out of everything he possibly can. She cannot keep the house, even though she has primary custody of the children. She can't afford it. She has no job. Absolutely no job right now. And even if she did, there are 5 children. So between drop-offs and pickups at 4 different schools, she has about 3 hours in the daytime when she is not tending to children. So to any woman who is considering that the trad wife lifestyle might be it for you, I encourage you to think about this story. Remember it. And just remember that you as a woman need to have something for yourself. If anything, just for yourself, because you absolutely never know what can happen in life, whether it be divorce, whether it be cheating, whether it be the passing away of your spouse. You have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. You can still love and support your husband and be an incredible wife who takes care of your man, but take care of yourself first.
My next point. There's pressure on women to be these traditional wives, but there's no pressure on men to be traditional husbands. It just feels so out of touch to want a traditional wife if you're not a traditional husband who is taking care of all of these other financial means. Because I think the pressure for women to become a traditional wife is high, but the pressure for men to be traditional husbands is low. And that's where I feel like is very toxic, is that we're not putting the same pressure on men to stay with their wives until they die, do not cheat, do not have any outside children, right? Be a strong male figure within the house, right? Because as much as I'm a feminist and I believe in just choice, and I believe in the gays, I believe in everything, men and women a child needs a male presence in the house, right? Where you need a reference point. So I feel like men aren't being held to the same standard as women are in terms of being traditional. And I feel like at the same time, men want these traditional women, but they're the largest consumers of OnlyFans. They are the largest consumers of porn. They are the largest consumers of strip clubs and all. They love bad, toxic women. As much as Sprinkle, she may be toxic herself, but she's hitting a few points, right? Men love toxic women. Men love these kind of women that drive them crazy. But they want to marry the good girl so that because they know that if you the good girl will put up with a lot more than the crazy toxic girl, right? Crazy toxic girl will leave you within a second. But a good girl will stay and try to see the good in you and all of this other stuff, which I don't think that you could get in another type of relationship.
There's nothing wrong with having traditional gender roles as long as that's something as the woman you want to participate in and you feel safe and supported in doing so. Same thing with dressing modestly. I don't think there's a problem with a woman choosing to dress modestly or a woman choosing to stay home with her children because that's how she feels the most fulfilled. I think the problem comes in when that's the type of woman a man is searching for, because usually they're doing that to search for somebody who they can be dominant over. And tradwife content can kind of lean into the fantasies of men like this, these men who are wishing to have this submissive, dominant role within their marriages. And what you see online absolutely has an element of fantasy and cosplay that gets lost in the social media literacy of some of these viewers. That is one of the reasons I take a lot of issue with tradwife creators on TikTok who talk about this being the idealized and natural role of a woman. Because although that might be right for you, making that a broad generalized statement can do some real harm to actual women and actual marriages.
So that's my opinion on trad wives. I do not think that I don't think it's inherently evil or anything like that. I do think that there's some positive stuff that's coming out of there. If you want to be a mom, if you want to take care of your kids and just stay home and be cute, there's completely nothing wrong with it. It's only toxic if you don't have a backup plan, or you're not making some kind of motion. You don't have any kind of motion of your own besides being a mom and wife, right? That's where it can be toxic, because you're literally letting yourself be vulnerable to any kind of, nonsense that could happen. And secondly, we're not holding men to the same standards to be traditional husbands as we are holding women to that standard of being traditional wives. And I think that is where the lines get really blurred and gets really toxic for me. More of the story, girls, because I know I have a lot of women subscribers, is get your own motion. Have something of your own. Go to school. Learn a trade. Start a channel. do something, bruh. But like, don't ever depend on a man 100%. You can. It's cool if you do have a man that takes care of you. I'm not bashing you at all. But have some motion. Have a little, save some of that allowance money. Do something so if anything happens, you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You heard? This is me. I'm done. I will see you in the next video. I love you. Okay, bye.